Good afternoon, guys. What happened today? Only 20 participants.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. Did we schedule the class today at 4 or 4:30?
So I
4,
guess
na?
same as yesterday. Yeah.
Same as yesterday. Na? I just put a message in the group. Yeah, people are asking me that whether it's at 4 or 4:30. I just check the message.
Sir, can you give us an off tomorrow?
Why? What happened?
No, Monday exam, we want.
Acha. So today what we'll do? Today we'll do GST returns. Okay. Then we'll also do tax invoice. All of these are very small concepts. Okay. Then debit note, credit note. So debit note, then credit note. And then we'll do all three types of ledgers. Three types of ledgers. One of those ledger you guys already know, which is that for ITC, which ledger do we use?
So ECL.
Correct. Electronic credit ledger. Na? Don't call it ECL na, because it is electronic cash ledger, electronic credit ledger. Okay. All are ECL only. So for ITC purpose, we will call it ECL, but otherwise we'll call them by them actual names. Okay. So electronic cash ledger, credit ledger, and electronic liability ledger. Okay. Those three types. Then debit note, credit note, tax invoice, and GST returns. We'll try to cover these small concepts. All of these are very small concepts, but very important, because in MCQ, it will be very important to know all these concepts. Okay. In MCQ, it will be important to know these concepts. We'll wait for a couple of minutes, then we can start. Okay. Any doubt in yesterday's discussion, guys? Any doubt in yesterday's discussion or yesterday's questions? No, na?
Sir, for non-resident taxable person,
okay,
should they be registered or not registered? Because in one listed,
they see for NRTP, registration is always compulsory, na? Irrespective of the limit. So who are the persons who by default compulsory registration, na? We have saw that in compulsory registration, who are these people who need to get compulsory registered irrespective of limit?
Yeah, but then in the process of registration, in that it was given non-applicability. What is that?
Non-applicability means that particular procedure is not applicable to NRTP. NRTP registration process is completely different.
Okay.
So when I said that it is not applicable to NRTP, because NRTP registration procedure, that particular procedure is applicable to everyone else, but NRTP procedure is completely different. That's why that particular procedure is not applicable. Okay. All right. Okay. So GST returns. Now, GST returns in Feb 2022. In Feb 2022, the GST returns have been updated. Now there is GSTR1. Instead of that, there is this QRMP scheme, but that is not applicable to you guys. Yesterday, I confirmed with the college. The thing is that up to September 2021, whatever changes are there up to September 2021, that is expected from you guys. Okay. So this new GST returns, new rules of GST returns are for Feb 2022. That will not be applicable for you. All right. Okay. Let us start then. So what do you mean by GST returns? Returns means proof that you have paid GST or you have collected GST from customers from customers. Okay, and you have paid GST to your suppliers. Okay, so for that, all that proofing is required, all that invoicing is required. So that is the whole concept of GST returns. We have to submit a proof to the government. You have to submit a proof to the government, okay, that we have paid GST to our suppliers and we have collected GST from our customers. So this returns will involve all kind of invoicing, okay, documentation and payments, correct? And this will be completely online. Huh? Offline return submission is not allowed. It is not accepted by the system. Okay, so this will be completely online. Okay, and it is compulsory for all registered persons. So you cannot say that we are not going to file our GST returns. All registered persons, including composition scheme dealer, even including the small scale dealers, everyone has to submit GST returns. Okay, for some of them it will be monthly, for some of them it will be quarterly. For small scale, that is for composition scheme dealers, it will be quarterly. Otherwise, all other registered persons, you have to file monthly GST returns. You have to file monthly GST returns. So this is a very tedious task for dealers. Okay, this is a very tedious task for dealers because every dealer will have to file 3 monthly returns. Okay, 3 monthly returns. We'll see which all we have to file. 3 monthly returns and 1 annual return. 1 annual return. So in total, in 1 year, in one single year, how many returns do we need to file? Registered person needs to file 37 returns minimum. 37 returns. Minimum 37 returns a registered person will have to file in one single year. Okay. So that's why the knowledge of GST becomes very important for a business point of view also. So even if you are going to go with a startup, okay, and if you are crossing that turnover limit, then you will also need to file 37 returns in 1 year. Okay, let us see that. So GST returns is nothing but proof that all payments are being made, all invoicing are being done, all the documentation has been done. All right. So let us see. There is a list of returns. Okay, there are a list of returns. So instead of reading out that list, I'll explain the procedure for you guys. So I've given the chart over here. Okay. So GST returns chart. I'm going to give you this chart. I'm going to give this chart. I've separately taken out this chart. Okay. So let us understand how return filing is done between two people, right? And then we'll see how the system recognizes those returns. Okay. So let us focus on first three: GSTR1, GSTR2, and GSTR2A. Okay. And the dates are 10th of the next month, 15th of the next month. Okay. And the third one is auto-populated. So let me explain these three first. Then tell me if you understood the whole process, and then we'll go for the other type of returns. Okay. GSTR1. GSTR1 is your first return, and it gives this return gives the detail of all outward supplies. Now you guys know outward supplies means what? Purchases or sales. If I'm making outward supplies, am I making
sales?
Sales, na? Outward supplies means sales. So GSTR1 returns gives details of all outward supplies made by a person. Okay, it will give details of all the outward supplies made by the person. Okay, so in fact, all kind of sales. It will give all kind of sales. Similarly, GSTR2, this return, okay, this return gives the detail of all inward supplies inward supplies taken by a person. Okay, so all kind of purchases, Okay, now see the importance of the data. When do I need to file GSTR1? When do I need to make and submit GSTR1 on the system? 10th of the next month. If I made the sales in the month of January, when should I submit my returns?
February.
10th February, no? 10th February. And if I have taken any purchases, if I have made any purchases, then I'll have to file the returns when? 15th of next month. 15th of next month. Okay. Now see the process. Let us take an example. So let us say I'll take the example of who I can see on the screen. I can see Nisi and Sarika on the screen. So Nisi is a seller. Nisi is a manufacturer and seller. So Nisi is a seller who has sold goods worth 10 lakhs in the month of January to Sarika, okay, who is also a registered person. Both are registered person. Huh? So let us take Nisi is also registered person, and Sarika is also a registered person. So Nisi is seller who has sold goods worth 10 lakh in the month of January to Sarika, who is another registered person. So for Nisi, what is it? Nisi should file GSTR1 or GSTR2?
1.
Correct, because for Nisi it is a sale. Right? So Nisi will file GSTR1. When will she file GSTR1? Which date?
10th of February.
On or before. Huh? She can file it before also, no problem. On or before 10th of February. Okay. And similarly, Sarika should file which one? For Sarika, it is what? It is a purchase for Sarika. Correct. It is a purchase for Sarika. She will file GSTR2 on or before which date? Again, 15th of February. Right? Understood? No problem till here? Okay. Now, both are showing 10 lakhs and 10 lakhs. Then no problem. Both their returns will get submitted to the government. In both returns, this GSTR1 of Nisi will be matched with GSTR2 of Sarika, right? Because in GSTR1, Nisi will say that I have made a sale to registered person named Sarika, and she will quote her GST number, right? So Nisi will quote GST number of Sarika in GSTR1, that I have made a sale to this person worth 10 lakhs. And Sarika will also quote GSTR of Nisi, saying that I have taken purchases of 10 lakhs from Nisi, right? So in both their returns, they will see 10 lakh of figure. These figures are matching, so no problem is there, and the returns will get submitted. Understood? GSTR returns, how they are getting submitted?
Sir, this will be done in the ECL.
No, this is we'll see where we'll do it. We'll see where we'll do it. Okay, so this is done on the GST portal. Okay, this is a return filing. The payment of taxes is done through ledger account. Okay, so the deposit of money, payment of taxes, taking input tax credit. Okay, all those payment of taxes is not done from GSTR1. It is done through ECL, electronic credit ledger, electronic liability ledger, and electronic cash ledger. That also I'll tell you today. Okay, and the proof of that payment that I have paid. So Sarika will say I have paid 18% on 10 lakhs to Nisi. Okay, and the proof will be attached over here. Similarly, Nisi will say I have collected 18% of 10 lakhs from Sarika, and the proof she will attach over here. And what is the proof? Proof will be your tax invoices. The proof will be the tax invoices and payment challans. And the payment challans. That will be the proof. That will be the proof. Understood? Now see guys what is happening. Okay. Sometimes Sarika can directly file GSTR2A. Instead of filing GSTR2, Sarika can directly file GSTR2A, which will be a counter copy received from GST portal after NISI files her returns. Okay. So if Sarika does not want to actually prepare GSTR2 returns, even that is okay. When NISI files GSTR1, what is NISI showing? That I have made supplies to Sarika. So in NISI's returns, I am showing Sarika as a customer. So customer will get a counter copy. Okay. And that counter copy will be what? GSTR2A. And that GSTR2A can be directly filed. It is a auto-generated or auto-populated copy. Okay. Let us say Sarika is only purchasing material from NISI. And not from anyone else. Then Sarika will not file GSTR2. She will just ask NISI to file GSTR1 on 10th February. When Sarika files the GSTR1 on 10th February, a copy will be generated on the network, on the GST portal. Okay. And that auto-populated copy will come to Sarika as GSTR2A. Sarika can directly file GSTR2A before 15th February. Okay. Or she can file on her own. Also in GSTR2. Understood the difference between 2 and 2A?
So for both, it will be 15th of next month, right?
15th of next month, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. The doubt is, sir, for each transaction, the seller needs to file it separately, or we can take sum of all sales and all purchases during the year. So GSTR returns is for all sales and purchases during the year. So in NISI's returns, Sarika will be one of the customers. Okay. So in NISI's returns, all her customers will come. Month-wise, this is month-wise. Okay, this will be month-wise. GSTR1 and GSTR2 is always monthly returns. It is always the monthly returns. Okay, I'll repeat GSTR2A. So GSTR2A is auto-populated. I'll just write auto-generated now. Okay, the GST language act says auto-populated. So I was using auto-populated. It is an auto-generated copy. When this copy will be generated, when the GSTR2A copy will be generated, when NISI files GSTR1 on 10th February, all her customers will get GSTR2A. Okay. Then for Sarika, NISI was the only supplier. Sarika had not purchased from anyone else. Sarika has not purchased from anyone else. So she has no other purchases. So what she can do? Whatever is the GSTR2A generated from NISI, she can directly file it on 15th February, on or before 15th February. But if Sarika has other suppliers also, it is better to file GSTR2 on her own. Okay. So GSTR2 can be filed either on her own under GSTR2, or it can be filed from auto-generated copy of your supplier. Auto-generated copy received from your supplier. Okay. If you trust your supplier, you can directly take the auto-generated copy and file it. Correct. GSTR2A is just like a customer copy when the seller files his returns of GSTR1. Right. So can it happen the other way around? No. GSTR1 has to be prepared. So you cannot say that Sarika is filing GSTR2 So when she files GSTR2, I will get GSTR1. It cannot happen now because GSTR1 has to be filed before 10th. Okay, so that's why it cannot be the other way around. Outward supply, always a return has to be made for outward supply. Inward supply returns, you can make it on your own or you can get it from your supplier. Okay, is this clear, everyone? So GSTR1, in short, I'll repeat once again what I've taught till now. GSTR1, who is going to file GSTR1? Purchaser or seller?
Seller.
Seller will file. Seller will file GSTR1 and it will show what? It will show all outward supplies. It will show all the outward supplies. Okay. And the buyer can either file GSTR2 or GSTR2A. GSTR2A. Who will file? The buyer will file. The buyer will file it, and it can be self-generated. If it is self-generated, it is called as GSTR2. Okay. Or it can be auto-generated from the system. Auto-generated from system. Okay. And if it is auto-generated, it will be called as GSTR2A. A stands for auto-generated. Na? A stands for auto-generated. Now clear GSTR1 and 2? No problem, na? All right. So GSTR1 due date is what? Due date is 10th of the next month. And GSTR2 and 2A due date is 15th of the next month. Done till here, guys? No doubt till here, na? Let us move on to next GSTR. GSTR is GST returns, huh? GST returns. So let us first see what all do I file in GSTR. Okay, I'll just open up this thing. In GSTR1, what all things I need to file? Content is what? All my intrastate supplies and all my interstate supplies. Correct? Okay. And I will have to file consolidated details for each rate of tax for each state. Okay. If the invoice value is more than 2.5 lakhs, then you have to submit the invoice wise details. And if the invoice value is less than 2.5 lakhs, you can submit a total. So I'll just explain this. This is a bit confusing. In GSTR1, what I'm going to file? I'm going to show all supplies, right? I'm going to show all the supplies, all the outward supplies. I'm going to show all the outward supplies. Okay. Outward supplies means sales. So that can be intrastate also. Okay. And that can be interstate also. Okay. So if your interstate supply, interstate sale, the invoice value, the value is more than 2.5 lakhs, then what you have to show? You have to show each invoice separately because it is of a significant amount. You have to show each invoice separately. Huh? You have to show each invoice separately. Okay. And if the value of the invoice is less than 2.5 lakhs. Okay. Then you can prepare what? You can prepare a general group of invoices. So we'll call it as consolidated data. Okay. So if you have invoices of lower value, you don't need to show them separately in GSTR1. Okay. You can just make a common group, common account and show it under that. Okay. But if your value of invoice is more than 2.5 lakhs, you have to show each invoice separately. Understood what we are showing in GSTR1, guys?
Sir, under the consolidated data, the invoices will be there, right? All of them?
Correct. Invoices will be there, but I don't need to show I don't need to upload each invoice separately.
Okay, you upload it in like one file.
I'll just give a summary. So for example, I'll give an example over here. So let us say we are talking about Nisi is the seller, na? So Nisi has sold goods worth 1.2 lakhs to Mr. A, okay, 1.1 lakhs to Mr. B, okay, then 40,000 to Mr. C, okay, 2,75,000, 2.75 lakhs to Mr. D, and let us say 10,000 to Mr. E. What will Nisi do? Nisi will make two statements. Nisi will upload two invoices. 2.7 lakhs invoice she will upload separately. Why? Because it is a significant amount. It is more than 2.5 lakhs. Okay. So Mr. D's invoice will have to be uploaded separately. Okay. And for all other, for A, B, C, and E, okay, what she'll do? She'll just make a list summary. She'll just give a summary of invoices. In short, she will tell in short. Okay. She doesn't need to show it separately. Understood this? What is the concept?
So,
Sir,
suppose if I'm giving the summary of all the sales which happened less than 2.5 lakhs, in that case, will each seller get an auto-generated that?
Seller will still get auto-generated, because in summary also, what you are going to write down? You are going to write down summary statement, right? Summary statement, what you are going to write? You are going to write name of the purchaser, name of the customer, right? Then GSTIN is your GST identification number, okay? And amount and rate. So 4 columns will be there: name of customer, GSTIN, amount, and rate. Correct? So when you file Mr. A, B, so Mr. A will be shown separately, right? B will be shown separately, C will be shown separately, and E will be shown separately, na? In the summary statement. Correct? And Mr. D's invoice has to be uploaded separately. In our example, right? So Mr. D will not come under summary statement. The sale to Mr. D will be separately uploaded in Gstr1. Okay. And for A, B, C, and E, their value is not that substantial. So I'll just make a 4-columnar summary statement: name of the customer, GSTIN, amount, and rate. Correct? And I'll upload it in the system. See, listen.
So where will be the proof for this?
What proof? So that's what now. The proof is required only if your invoice value is more than 2.5 lakhs.
Okay.
So let us say instead of Mr. A, let us say this was Nisi. Oh, sorry, this was Sarika. Okay, this was Alina. Right? This was Aman. Okay, and this was Vishal. Okay, these were the name of customers. So when I upload separately, right? Now Sarika will get what? GSTR2A. Sarika will get GSTR2A from Nisi. Correct? Alina will also get GSTR2A. Right? Aman and these Vishal will also get GSTR2A, GSTR2A. They will get it when Nisi uploads the GSTR1. And Mr. D will also get GSTR2A, GSTR2. Okay, so government needs invoice proof of only values which are more than 2.5 lakhs. And that too for interstate. For intrastate, you can just show a summary statement. Summary statement irrespective of amount.
Sir, if in these cases, in the summary statement, they are not asking for invoices, so people can fake their
correct. People can manipulate
sales.
this, but see what happens. Okay. See what happens. If let us say Nisi had given sales to Aman of worth 10 lakhs. Okay. So actual sale was 10 lakhs. Right? But she recorded amount, as 9 lakhs. amount she recorded as 9 lakhs. So Aman is happy. Why Aman is happy? Because then Aman will have to pay lower tax. Na? Aman will have to pay lower tax. Will have to pay lower tax. Instead of paying tax on 10 lakhs, Aman will pay tax on only 9 lakhs. Right? So rate will be 18%. Aman will pay tax on 9 lakhs. But then now see what happens. Huh? Now see what happens. When Aman is filing his income tax returns, and he's showing in the cost, he's showing cost of raw materials as 10 lakhs and my profit difference is of 1 lakh. That 1 lakh profit difference will not match, right? Then government will send a show cause notice to Aman that you are showing more expenditure, whereas your GSTR 2A is showing only 9 lakhs. Then Aman will change this 9 lakh to 10 lakh. Then what will happen? Then Aman's GSTR 2A and Nisi's GSTR 1 will not match. Understood, na? That is how government is going to trace it. But if Nisi and Aman say that let us show 9 lakh everywhere, government can't trace it. Government can't trace it. All right. Okay. Now the question is, if it's more state-wise, right? What is more? Alina, I didn't get your doubt. More than 2.5 lakhs for interstate. For intrastate does not matter. For intrastate does not matter. For interstate, if it is more than 2.5 lakhs, then that limit is per invoice. It is per invoice. Even if one single invoice of any state is more than 2.5 lakhs, one invoice of any single state is more than 2.5 lakhs, I will what? I will show it separately. And if the total is also more than 2.5 lakhs, then I'll have to show it separately. Each rate of tax for each state. That means the state-wise tax rate might also differ, na? So state-wise classification is only for tax rate. For each state, the tax rate might differ. All right. Understood, guys, how this GSTR return procedure is being done? Yes or no? So if you want to, if you want to manipulate something, you'll have to manipulate right from the supplier's side to the customer's side, not only in indirect taxes, but while filing your income tax returns also, you'll have to manipulate it. Okay. So you are going to manipulate 4 returns now. You are going to manipulate your GSTR returns of the customer. Okay. Income tax returns of the customer, GSTR returns of the supplier, and income tax returns of the supplier. So then in 4 these things, you will have to manipulate everything. And if, let us say, by mistake, something is left, income tax department and GST department, both will show you both will send you a show cause notice. Show a cause why your figures are not matching, right? So that's why you need to be very careful with all these return filing. People still manipulate. They will still manipulate. Okay. I'll just call up my supplier. I'll tell him, you also show 9 lakhs everywhere. I'll also show 9 lakhs everywhere. And therefore, what will happen? Your income is 9 lakhs. My expenditure is 9 lakhs. Your income tax will be saved. My indirect taxes will be saved. So your direct tax will be saved. My indirect tax will be saved. Right? So that manipulation is there. Government cannot trace it. Government cannot trace it. And that's why it's your job as auditors to show ethical, show everywhere. You have to show that your books of accounts show true and fair way.
So, but in tax invoice, they can get the proof, right? They can manipulate
it in tax invoice itself. So even the auditor will not be able to trace it. Even the auditor will not be able to trace it. If the invoice itself is made of 9 lakhs, no one can do anything. Because auditor is going to just check the invoices, na? Auditor is going to just check the proof, tax invoice and payment challans. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Understood now? GSTR 1, GSTR 2 and GSTR 2A. Done? Now let us see this. Now let us see this. So let us say, whose example can I take now? I'll take Narendra's example. Okay. So Narendra is a manufacturer, okay, who is purchasing raw materials from different suppliers, okay, processing it and selling further to a lot of customers, okay, selling further to a lot of customers. So now guys, pay attention. Huh? For sale made to customers, Narendra will file which returns? Narendra will file Gstr1, right? For sale made to customers, Narendra will file Gstr1. Everyone agrees? Okay. And
Yes,
for purchases from different suppliers, okay, he will either file GSTR2 or GSTR2A, but GSTR2A will not make sense because he has many suppliers. So don't get auto-generated copy of every supplier. Okay, it will just increase your task. Instead of that, file your own returns. Okay, so it is better advisable for Narendra to file GSTR2. Correct? Now, so this he has to prepare and file on 10th Feb. Let us say 10th of next month. Okay, and this he has to file on 15th of next month. There is no ITC concept over here. Huh? Right now, there is no concept of ITC. He's just showing all his supplies. He's just showing all his purchases. Okay. So all sales, here he's showing all his sales and GST collected. All his sales and GST collected. Right. And here he is showing all his purchases and GST paid. All his purchases and GST paid. Everyone agrees in this example what I have done? Narendra will have to file GSTR1 also, and Narendra will have to file GSTR2 or 2A also, because he is purchasing from suppliers, processing it and selling it further. Okay. So can I say in GSTR1, we will get to know output GST. Everyone agrees? After filing GSTR1, can we get to know output GST collected? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes,
and after filing GSTR2/2A, we get to know what? Input GST. All the input GST that is paid. Right? So now what is the next step? Now Narendra will want to do what? Want to claim input tax credit, na? Narendra will want to claim input tax credit, that is output GST minus input GST, right? So now see, now we will file GSTR3 monthly return. We'll file GSTR3 monthly return, outward supply, inward supply, input tax credit, and therefore we'll understand what is the actual payment of tax that needs to be done. Okay. So now third is, so once I get these two, so this I have done on 10th of next month. This I have done on 15th of next month. So till end of 15th, till 15th of next month, I have all the data now. Okay. Narendra has all the data, right? So now what will he do? He will see how much tax he needs to pay to the government. He needs to pay to the government. So what he'll do? He'll do output GST collected, right? Correct. Less what we studied yesterday. Input GST, not just input GST, eligible input GST. Understood the importance of the word eligible, guys? Not all input GST will be eligible. Huh? Not all input GST will be eligible. Okay. He will have to understand which GST you have to take. Okay. There is some doubt. I'll come to that doubt when we get this. Huh? Output GST collected minus eligible input GST paid. Therefore, what will have? Therefore, GST payable to the government. We'll get GST payable to the government, and for that, what I'll file? I'll file Gstr3. Gstr3 will be output GST, okay, input GST, and payment of tax, and the payment of tax. Understood? Gstr3, and this he can do till 20th of the next month. So he has still 5 days, na? He still has 5 days. See if this example is clear. Till then, I'll read the doubt. In the previous example, could you explain again how reducing the tax amount will help the supplier? Ultimately, tax collector he can net off. It will not help in GST. You see, it will not help in GST. It will help in his income tax. Because if let us say sale was 10 lakhs, but the customer is asking to show sale of 9 lakhs, right? So when I show sale of 9 lakhs as a seller, my income reduces, my income tax reduces. So for the customer, indirect tax reduces, and for seller, income tax reduces. But I am not teaching you tax evasion, okay? I am not teaching you how tax can be evaded. All right. So no doubts on tax evasion, huh, guys? No doubts on tax evasion. Okay, can you explain the concept of GSTR3 again? Yes, I'll do that. So GSTR1 and 2, you got na? In GSTR1, what we have got to know? We have got to know all the sales made by us, all the sales made by Narendra, and all GST collected by Narendra. We have just collected and shown it in GSTR1. Okay. Now in GSTR2 or GSTR2A, what we are showing? All purchases that we have made and all GST paid to suppliers. Huh? In GSTR2A, this is all GST paid to suppliers. Okay. So this is all sales and GST collected from customers. Right? And in GSTR2 or 2A, it is all purchase and GST paid to suppliers, not to the government. To the government, I am yet to pay GST to the government. Huh? I am yet to pay GST to the government. Okay. So now GSTR1, at the end of GSTR1, we get to know output GST collected, and we get to know it on 10th. In GSTR2/2A, we get to know input GST paid. We get to know it till 15th. So till 15th, I have all the data now. So now what I'll do next step is I'll see how much tax I need to pay to the government. So that will be output GST collected here from GSTR1. We'll get that figure from GSTR1 less eligible input GST paid. We'll get that figure from GSTR2 or GSTR2A. Okay. And then we'll finally get this amount. Correct. I'll finally get this amount, GST payable to the government. So I'll actually make the payment through payment challan, and I'll show it in GSTR3. Output GST, input GST, and payment of tax. And that I have to file till 20th of the next month. So from 15th to 20th, what I'll do, I'll make the payment of GST, correct, after ITC. So this is in short, claiming the input tax credit. This is in short claiming the input tax credit, right? And then final GST payable to the government. I'll pay it. Once I get all the data, I'll calculate this GST payable and I'll pay it, and that challan, payment challan, I can show it along with GSTR3. When I file GSTR3, so I'll have now everything covered. GST collected from customers, GST paid to suppliers, how much input tax credit I'm claiming, and therefore final GST payable during the month, during the previous month. So if you understood GST,
Sir, in the GSTR 1 and 2, the sales amount will be shown or the GST amount will be shown?
Both sales amount as well as like I said, now what all data will I have? Name of the customer or customers, GSTIN, GST identification number, that is the registration number of the customers, sale amount and rate and GST amount. All data I'll have to show. All the data I'll have to show. That's why we are preparing that summary sheet, na?
Okay.
Right? Okay, so so it is the process of IT. Yes, perfect. GSTR3 is nothing but process of ITC, that how much ITC I'll get, and after ITC you'll get a payable amount. So you have to pay that amount also. Huh? It is not just process of ITC. It is after process of ITC, calculate payable amount, pay that amount, and show the proof of payment also in GSTR3. Show the proof of payment also in GSTR3. So payment of tax is an important component over here. Payment of tax is an important component over here. Huh? Very important. Understood till 20th? What is the process till 20th of next month?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now guys, pay attention. Huh? Pay attention. If I am only a customer, I am only a registered customer, okay, and I don't sell it further anywhere, then I just need to show GSTR2. That's it. I just need to show GSTR2, and my GSTR3 will be what? Will be blank, because I don't need to pay tax to the government. I don't need to pay tax to the government. I have paid all my tax to my supplier, and I am not collecting tax from anyone. I am not collecting tax from anyone. Okay, so I just need to show GSTR2, and my GSTR3 will be blank, because there is no payment of tax to the government. See if this is clear. So this payment of tax, payment of GST to government, to government.
So can you repeat the point which you just said?
I'll repeat the point. If you are just a customer, okay, if you are a registered person, just a customer, okay, and you are not selling anything, you are not collecting GST in that particular month or in that particular quarter. So what you'll do, you just need to file GSTR2, because if you are not sold anything, why do you need GSTR1 then? Your GSTR1 will be blank. You're only purchasing in that month, so you'll only file GSTR2, and your GSTR3 will also be blank. Why? Because there is no GSTR1. This amount is zero. This amount is zero, right? So only input GST will be shown in your returns in that particular month. Okay.
Sir, can you give an example of someone like that?
So for example, I am a person who is into seasonal sale. My sale is only happening for a season, for a particular season, like mangoes, right? So I'm a seller of mangoes. Whole year I do all the other processes, right? All other processes I do in the whole year, and my sale is only for this quarter, like from April to June. Then in that case, my sale will be only in April to June, right? So for all other months, what is happening? For all other months, I have no sale. No sale, don't need to file GSTR1. Okay. Next doubt is it compulsory to file input GST? If you are a registered person, you have to compulsorily file input GST. Okay. Those who are final customers like us, okay, we are not selling anything or we are not supplying anything. For salaried employees, no need of filing input GST, yeah? Because salaried employees has nothing to do with business, na? And businessmen who are below our turnover limit, small businessmen who are below turnover limit, they also don't need to file it. All this filing is only for registered person. Who is unregistered person don't need to file any GSTR. Okay. All right. Next. All doubts clear now till GSTR3? And all the due dates also clear. Okay, so GSTR1, GSTR1, comma, GSTR2/2A, comma, GSTR3, all will be monthly returns. All will be monthly returns and compulsory for all registered persons. Compulsory for all registered persons. All registered persons. All right, done. Let us go to next. GSTR 3B will be for the quarter of July to September. Okay, July 17 to September 19. Okay, that was needed because in this period there are a lot of changes. So it is not needed now. 3B is not needed now. Okay, so we'll skip 3B. This 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 I'll explain later because it is for other people. It is for other persons. Let us go to GSTR 9 and GSTR 10. Like I said, for a normal manufacturer, he has to file total how many returns? 37 returns during the year, right? So GSTR 1, 2, and 3, they are all compulsory. So monthly 3 returns are compulsory, right? Okay, so that will be what? That will be annually how many returns? 36 returns in 1 year. In 1 year, right? In 1 year. And then at the end of the year, you will have to file GSTR 9. You'll have to file GSTR 9. Here, annual return section 44. GSTR 9 will be compulsory to all persons, and that will be 31st December of the next year. Okay, so that will be annual returns. So apart from filing monthly returns, this is also compulsory. Yeah? This is also compulsory. So this will give summary of all monthly returns. Simple. These are simple returns. This will give summary of all monthly returns. And what is the due date? 31st of next year. 31st December of next year. All right. So GSTR 9, nothing new. GSTR 9, nothing new has to be done. It is the annual returns. It is compulsory. And it is just a summary of all your monthly returns. And it has to be filed on 31st December of the next year. Clear? So total, it makes what? 36 returns in 1 year plus 1 annual return. So that gives 37 returns total. It gives total of 37 returns during the year. If this is clear, guys, how come I am filing 37 returns during the year? Is it clear? Even if it is a blank return, you will have to file it, because government wants to cross check it. So Nisi has not made any sales. Still, she has to file blank GSTR1. Because if Sarika has filed GSTR2 and Sarika is saying, I am purchasing from Nisi in the month of, let us say, April, then their GSTR1 and 2 will not match. So even if no sales has been made, you have to file a blank return. You will have to file a blank return. Sir, GSTR 9 is filed by a person whose turnover is about 2 crore now or nothing like that. Yes. So what happens is GSTR 9 is annual returns, but it's not compulsory for everyone. GSTR 9 is not compulsory for everyone. But generally for a manufacturer, the turnover, if it exceeds a specific limit, that limits will not go into the details of that, because that limit is separate for industry-wise limits, right? So will not go into details of that. So GSTR 9 will not go into the details of that. Okay.
So, So can input GST paid be more than the output
Yes,
GST
yes,
collected?
yes.
So in that case?
In that case, your amount will be shown in electronic credit ledger. Okay, your amount will be shown in electronic credit ledger and you can claim it in the next month. So let us say output GST collected. Output GST collected was 12 lakhs. Okay, GST amount I am saying, output GST collected was 12 lakhs. Okay, and your input GST paid was 14 lakhs. Right? So what is this coming out to be? Negative 2 lakhs. Negative 2 lakhs. So this will not be refundable. This will not be refundable. This will be carried forward to the next month. So in next month, if next month's tax liability is coming out to be 2,50,000, if the next month's tax liability is 2,50,000, you only need to pay 2,50,000 minus this 2 lakh. Only 50,000 you will have to pay in the next month. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, and then GST at 10 comes when you have to shut down your company. When you are going to shut down your company, this is your final return. This is your final return. When you are going to file the final return, when registration is cancelled or surrendered. When you want to not shut down, even not shutting down the company, even if you want to cancel your registration. Okay. So for example, guys, for example, in the past 5 years, my turnover was exceeding 40 lakhs. So registration was compulsory, right? In the last some years, right? In the last few years, my turnover was exceeding 40 lakhs, right? That's why registration was compulsory. Now I have reduced my business. Okay. I'm thinking that enough of business oriented, living. I want to reduce my business. Okay. And I want to only, my business in the current year is only, let us say, 9 lakhs. Then I will surrender my registration, right? I'll surrender my registration. That time I'll have to give a final return. That why I am surrendering the returns. Okay. I'll have to give a final return and I have to do it within 3 months of date of cancellation or date of surrender or date of cancellation order, whichever is later. So within 3 months, basically it is within 3 months. Or let us say I am conducting a fraudulent business. Government will ask to cancel my registration. Okay. Government will say your registration has been cancelled. You cannot log in and claim ITC. You cannot go into the business with other, registered persons. Okay. And then your registration is cancelled. Then also you'll have to pay. You'll have to file a final return. You'll have to file a final return in GSTR 10. GSTR 10. Understood? This is only needed. This is only needed if your registration certificate is cancelled or surrendered. Okay. So this will be only once. It will be only once, and the due date will be 3 months from date of cancellation / surrender. 3 months from the date of cancellation / surrender. Understood? Basic GSTRs for normal people, for normal registered persons. This for normal registered person. This is not for composition scheme, CTP, NRTP. For them, different returns are there. So 3 monthly returns, GSTR 1, 2, and 3. 3 monthly returns and 1 annual return. Okay. Any doubt, guys? Any doubt still here? Is this understood? Yes or no? What is happening?
No, sir.
No what? Not understood?
Sir,
go ahead.
In the annual return, the GSTR 9, it will just show like the receivable from the government, like The negative figure.
So anyway, in each return it will show, na? In each return it will show.
Yeah.
So in monthly return also, if I'm payable to government, it will show. If I'm receivable from government, it will show, no problem. Okay.
So and annual will be the cumulative.
Annual will be cumulative. Summary of all monthly returns. Na? It is summary of all monthly returns. And when will you actually get the refund from the government? Only when you close the business. Otherwise, it will just keep on getting carry forward and set off. Okay. So if you are payable in that particular month, you will have to pay. If you're payable, if your answer comes in after your this thing in Gstr1 when you calculate GST payable to the government, if it comes positive, you'll have to pay it every month. But if it comes negative, means it is refundable, right? So if it is refundable, it will be just carried forward and set off, adjusted in the next month ka returns. Okay. Only when you close the business, that time your whatever amount was remaining, refundable amount, that you will get as a refund. Okay.
So annual return has to be filed before the financial year end or just before 31st of December?
Next financial year, 31st December of the next financial year. So let us say my financial year was 1st April 2021, right? To 31st March 2022, correct? So for that particular year, my due date will be what? 31st December 2022. Okay. I'll just write it. So let us say my financial year is 1st April 2021 to 31st March 2022, correct? Then my annual return due date, due date will be what? Due date will be 31st December of the next financial year, na? Next financial year ka 31st December matlab kaun sa? 31st December 2022. Because financial year ends at March 2022, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next out is, sir, so if GSTR2 is filed on 15th of Feb, GSTR3 will be filed, no, 20th. So all of this example was for January. If this example of Narendra is for January, then this will be 10th of Feb, 15th of Feb and 20th of Feb. Okay. So 10th of next month, right? 15th of next month and 20th of the next month. Okay. So if you are a manufacturer who is in the business of purchase and sale in the month of January, all these 3 returns will be in the month of February. Okay, done. Chalo, next. So now we have seen all the returns of a normal registered person, GSTR1, 2, 3 and GSTR9. GSTR10 is not normal, it is while surrendering or cancelling your registration. Now let us go on to see other GSTR returns. Other GST returns, that is for other persons. For other persons. Other persons means other than normal registered person. Huh? So these are also registered. So this is for other registered persons. For other registered persons. Because a non-registered person does not need to file GSTR. A non-registered person does not need to file GSTR. So other GST returns is for other registered persons. Very simple, very simple. Let us see. Okay. So GSTR 4. So GSTR 1, 2, 3 we have done. 4 is for composition scheme dealer. Okay, 4 is for composition scheme dealer. So composition scheme dealer has to file only one return. Huh? Only one type of a return, that is GSTR 4. So quarterly, he does not have to file it monthly. He has to file it quarterly and then annually. Okay, but quarterly and annually, both returns will be called GSTR 4. Okay, both returns will be called GSTR 4. So for a person in composition scheme, how many returns? In 1 year, how many returns?
5.
5 now. 4 quarterly returns for 4 quarters and 1 annual return, right? 5 returns. So for person in composition scheme, what is happening? That person does not need to file 3 GSTRs, okay, and also does not need to file monthly GSTR, okay. Composition scheme dealer has to file only one return in each quarter. Quarter is a period of 3 months, okay. Has to file only one return in each quarter, okay. That is GSTR 4. GSTR 4. And what is the due date? Due date is 18th of the month of the succeeding quarter. So in short, I'll write 18th of next month to which the quarter ends. To which the quarter ends. So let us say now sale has been made in April. Sale has been made in April by composition scheme dealer. What is the due date of filing the returns?
May 18th?
No, because it is quarterly return, na? Quarterly return. Okay, yeah. Quarter ends in what? April, May, June. The quarter of April will be April, May, June. So due date will be what? Due date will be 18th of July. 18th of July. See if this is clear. Sale is made in, let us say, March, or let us say sale is made in November. November falls under which quarter? October, November, December wala quarter, na? So due date will be what? Due date will be 18th of after end of the quarter, na? So 18th of Jan. 18th of Jan. If this is clear. So that's why I'm writing it specifically 18th of the next month to which the quarter ends. 18th of the next month to which the quarter ends. Understood this example, na guys? Okay. And then, and also composition scheme dealer will have to make one annual return. Annual return is the same thing. Summary of all. Now I'll write quarterly returns. All quarterly returns. Summary of all quarterly returns. Okay. So composition scheme dealer will have to make one annual return. That's it. One annual return. And what is the due date? It is 30th April following the end of such financial year. Correct? So 30th April after the end of the year, of the end of the financial year. Okay, so sale made in 2021. Sale made in December 2021. The annual return due date will be what? 30th April 2022. See if this GSTR 4 is clear to everyone. GSTR 4 for persons in composition scheme. GSTR 4 for the persons in composition scheme. So a dealer in composition scheme does not have to file GSTR 123. Does not have to file GSTR 123. Neither does he or she have to file GSTR 9. One return is sufficient. Okay. One type of return is sufficient. And in a year, total 5 returns. One return per quarter and one annual return. Understood GSTR 4? This all will be applicable for your multiple choice questions. With due dates, you have to remember the returns. So what you can do, you can just remember this chart. Okay. GSTR number, what it is required for, who will file it, whether it is monthly or quarterly, and what is the due date. I'll be uploading this chart on the Google Drive. I hope everyone has got the access to Google Drive now. I updated the access yesterday. I have updated the access yesterday. All right. Next. Similarly, for NRTP, for a non-resident taxable person, you have to file GSTR 5. You have to file GSTR 5. It will be monthly. It will be monthly return. Okay. Then similarly, return for ISD. ISD is Input Service Distributor. It is GSTR 6. For people collecting tax at source, deductor of tax, it will be GSTR 7. Okay. And details of ECO. ECO is Electronic Commerce Operator. For ECOs, it will be GSTR 8. So these 5, 6, 7, 8, you just have to remember for which person it is going to be. Okay. Different for different persons. And the due dates are also different. Huh? So the one marked in orange are other persons and one marked in yellow are your registered person. So if you understood the difference.
So what is ISD?
ISD is Input Service Distributor. Okay, that is not there for you guys. Okay, Input Service Distributor is not there for you guys. And ECO is Electronic Commerce Operator. And NRTP is non-resident taxable person. Okay, these are all the persons. Point number 5, 6, 7, 8 are all the persons who need to compulsorily get themselves registered irrespective of turnover limit. Huh? GSTR 5, 6, 7, 8 are the persons we saw them in that list now, that who need to compulsorily get themselves registered irrespective of turnover limit. So that's why they are not allowed to file returns in GSTR 1 to 3. And compulsion scheme dealer is also someone else who can collect tax at lower rate. Correct? So that's why that compulsion scheme dealer is also covered in separate returns. So that's why the ones marked in orange, okay, are your other persons, and ones marked in yellow are your normal persons. So if this entire chart is clear to everyone.
So even CTP was falling under that category, right? But then by having a casual taxable person.
Yes, casual taxable person will come under the same category of registered person.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and casual taxable person does not need to file annual return. Okay, because casual taxable person does not have a specific place of business. No, so that's why casual taxable person does not need to file annual return. So for CTP, only 36 returns during the year. No need to file annual return. So that's why I have written this, who shall file. GSTR number and who shall file it. Okay. So next out is for GSTR 5. What does within 7 days after last day mean? See, in case of NRTP, in case of non-resident taxable person, he's a non-resident, right? He's a non-resident. So he might be leaving India. Correct? So he might be taking registration only for a temporary purpose. Okay. So if the NRTP has taken the registration only for temporary purpose, his registration will be valid only till the expiry date. Right? So then we have to file within 7 days of the expiry date or 20th of the next month. Okay. Don't focus on those things. That is not that important for you guys in the syllabus. Okay. Just you should know what is the thing. That's why I have written it. Okay. So because it is there in your syllabus. That's why I have written that also in the chart. But I think it will more of the yellows will be judged in your exam. But still you should know these. You should know these limits, whether monthly, quarterly. So basically for everyone it is monthly. For everyone it is monthly. Only for compulsion scheme dealer, because they are small scale dealers, they will have quarterly. All right. Also remember the due dates. Also remember the due dates. Due dates can be asked in your multiple choice questions. Lot of things to remember in GST. Lot of things to remember in GST. That's why I am giving you chart of every turnover limit. Whatever you guys have to remember, I have given you the chart for that. Whatever you guys have to remember, you guys have to learn. I am giving you the chart. Okay. If you guys want, you can write the chart in your own way also. You can make the chart in your own way also. So that once you prepare a chart, okay, you prepare like an image form, like a diagram form. Okay. It will be stuck in your mind. I always used to do that for taxation. And this is only BCom level. Na? BCom level, you don't have all the sections. When we were studying CA and GST was just introduced that time. Okay. So that time there were so many sections and so much to remember. I used to make a chart on my wall. My entire wall was covered with charts. Okay. Because remembering this, all this becomes very difficult. So what you guys can do is you can make a chart in your notebook, small chart in your notebook for each section. Whenever there is a pictorial, what I can say, pictorial view, it is easier to remember. It is easier to remember for you. All right, chalo, next. So GST returns clear, guys. Everyone is clear with GST returns? Any doubt? Is it compulsory to remember section number? No. For BCom purpose, not necessary to remember section number. Just remember the due dates, that's enough. Just remembering the due dates and limits is enough for you guys. Okay. If you quote the section number well and good. If you quote the section number well and good, but don't quote the wrong section. Huh? Don't quote the wrong section. Okay. Now see, there is this concept of first return. You are filing the return for the very first time. Till last year, your turnover limit was 9 lakhs. If your turnover limit was 9 lakhs, okay, you don't need to get yourself registered, correct? And no concept of GST returns. But now, in this year, what has happened? You have crossed the limit of 40 lakhs. Okay, you have crossed the limit of 40 lakhs and registration has become compulsory. Now, first time you'll have to file a return, right? You will be filing the return for the very first time. So see what is the what the section says. To enable the registered person to declare taxable supplies, okay, it has been granted so that ITC can be availed. Registered person may issue revised tax invoices within 1 month from date of issuance of registration certificate, and the format for this return is same as that for regular return. So you don't need to file Gstr 1, 2, 3. You can just file revised tax invoices as your first return. When you are filing the return for the first time, government is being liberal with you. Government is saying you guys don't know how to file GSTR returns, right? So for the first time when you are filing the returns, we are giving you a relaxation. You can just issue revised tax invoices. Okay, you can just issue revised tax invoices, but you have to do it within 1 month. 1 month from the date on which you are liable to become registered. So on the date on which your total turnover exceeds the threshold limit, 1 month from that you have to file your first return. You will have to file your first return. Okay, so see, I'll just make it clear. The date. So when to get registered, and when to file the return, when to file first return. Okay, so when to get registered first time. This is first time. This is first time. And when to file the return for the first time. All right. So example, my turnover crossed threshold limit. Now you guys know what is the threshold limit. Threshold limit on, let us say, 20th May. On 20th May, when to get registered? The person has to get registered within 30 days, from 20th May. See if you understood this. my threshold limit, my turnover crossed the threshold limit. Okay. So let us say I am a dealer in Maharashtra. I am a dealer in Maharashtra. What is the threshold limit? 40 lakhs. Okay. Till last year, my turnover did not cross even 30 lakhs. But in the current year, on 20th May only, I crossed 40 lakhs. On 20th May, I crossed 40 lakhs. So I become liable to register. Correct? Person becomes liable to register. Person becomes liable to register. Okay. Then within 30 days from 20th May, you have to get yourself registered. Correct? Has to get registered means what? Apply for registration. Apply for registration. How to apply for registration? We have seen that in the registration process. Okay, I'll write it separately. So person has to get registered, that is apply for registration within 30 days from 20th May. Correct? Now what will happen? RC will be issued. RC is what? Registration certificate. Registration certificate will be issued. Okay. Once you apply for registration certificate will be issued, say on you got the registration certificate on, let us say 18th June. 18th June you got the registration certificate. Now when to file the first return? When to file the first return is 30 days from getting the RC. 30 days from getting the RC. So that is within 30 days from 18th June, you'll have to file your first return. You'll have to file your first return. If the concept of first return is clear, when you cross threshold limit, you become liable to register. You become liable to register. And once you become liable to register, okay, you have to get yourself registered within 30 days from that date. Then RC will be issued. That will be dependent upon the department. Department will decide when to issue the RC. And once RC is issued, the day on which RC is issued, you are getting the status of a registered person. From that day, within 30 days, you'll have to file the first return. See if this concept is clear. First time registration and first time return. For both, 30 days limit is there. Is this clear, guys? All type of returns.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other doubt in return, in GST returns? Any other doubt, guys? Any other doubt in GST returns? Okay. Then, if there is any rectification, if you want to change any returns in income tax, the concept is that in income tax, if mistake or error was made in filing the returns, mistake can be made, right? Mistake can be made, correct? So if there was a mistake in filing the returns in income tax, what is the thing? In income tax, if there is a mistake, then you can rectify. Rectify means you can file revised returns. You can file revised returns. That is, rectify your mistake. Rectify your mistake by filing new returns. Okay. But in GST, that is not allowed. In GST, if you make a mistake, it can be rectified. It can be rectified only in the next month's return. Only in the next month's return. Only in the next month's return. Okay. It cannot be revised. It cannot be revised in the current month return. All right. Now see, guys, pay attention. See the impact of this. See the impact of this. Nisi sold 10 lakh goods to Sarika. Nisi had sold 10 lakh goods to Sarika, and her accountant showed only 1 lakh goods. By mistake, 10 was not recorded, and her accountant showed only 1 lakh goods. Okay. Now, Sarika is filing auto-generated returns, auto-populated returns. Sarika was not filing her own GSTR2. Sarika was filing GSTR2A. Now, both of them will have mistake in their returns, and both have to rectify their mistake only in the next month's returns. So both their returns will be stuck. Even if mistake is made by one person, the other person other person's return is also carrying the mistake then, right? And then both their returns will not, match, and both their returns will be stuck until the next month's return. Is this clear?
So, so is it possible, like for 1 month we choose 2A, the next month we choose GSTR2?
That's okay. That's okay. No problem. So what happened? See, this mistake happened in the month of January, right? So Sarika thought that I'll just file the return auto-generated by Nisi. So in the month of January, Sarika filed GSTR2A. But what happened? Because of Nisi's mistake, Sarika's returns also carried a mistake, right? So then in the next month, Sarika can directly file GSTR2. She can file GSTR2. So that she doesn't need to be dependent upon your seller's GSTR1.
So what if the error was made in the annual return?
Annual return also cannot be rectified. Then it will be rectified in the next year's annual return. Okay, but generally annual return will not be rectified because it will be checked by internal auditor as well as the external auditor. I mean, the scope of mistake is there, but the probability is lower. All right. And then, guys, pay attention. Huh? Okay. We'll see that. Doubt. Let me just tell one more point in this rectification. And now the the error has happened, right? So your GST filing is with the wrong amount, and by default you'll have to pay interest on that, 18% interest on that. Okay, so instead of showing 10 lakh a sale, by mistake, it was an error. It was not intentional. It was an error, and it showed 1 lakh payment, right? 1 lakh GST. Then by default, government will collect 18% interest from both the parties. Even if Sarika had not made the mistake, right? Mistake was from Nisi's side. Sarika will also pay 18% ka interest. So that's why people are very concerned, right? That GSTR1 of Nisi should be also matching with GSTR2 of Sarika. And if it does not match, they will themselves try to match it. They will themselves try to rectify it first. Okay, before filing. So you can get, before filing the returns, you can just confirm with each other. The buyer and seller can confirm with each other. These are our monthly returns. Confirm it with your monthly returns. Then we can go and file our monthly returns. Because otherwise, you end up paying 18% interest. 18% is per annum, but still it comes out to what? 1.5 interest per month. So if you are dealing in crores of money, crores of GST, this thing will be what? 1.5%. You are just paying interest. You are just paying the interest. And also it will appear in your GSTIN that this customer or this supplier has always a lower rating in filing the returns.
So like if Nisi has so many customers, she'll have to verify with each customer.
Yeah, that's why the GSTR2A is given, na?
Yeah.
Correct. All right. Okay. Now the next doubt is, sir, if if a CS compulsion scheme dealer becomes normal registered person, then from next month he needs to file monthly returns. Yes, yes, yes. If you are compulsion scheme dealer and if your turnover exceeds what 1.5 crores, then you become a normal registered person, and now you have to start filing Gstr 1 to 3 instead of Gstr 4. Correct. All right. All doubts clear in returns, I think. It's an easy chapter, but lot of things to remember. Huh? It's a very easy chapter, but there are a lot of things to remember. Okay. Next. So should we do the next concept? ECL and invoice and debit note, credit note, or is it enough for the day? Next day. All right. And tomorrow we are taking the lecture tomorrow, na? Or Sunday you guys want off? What is it?
Or actually on Monday we have honors final exam. So it would be better if you take the next class on Monday itself.
Okay. So for tomorrow, for others, for tomorrow, should I give homework of what all we have discussed in the class? Should I give some homework? Are you guys going to do the homework? Otherwise, last time also I gave the homework 3 questions. No one tried anything, huh? Only two people tried it. Okay, I'll give the homework. There is a doubt. Is there a first return rule applicable if composition scheme? No, not necessary, na? Because composition scheme dealer also files GSTR 4, na? Composition scheme dealer knows how to file the returns, right? So now when composition scheme dealer becomes a normal registered person, there is no concept of first return. Okay, you will have to directly go with GSTR 1 to 3. All right. So now what I'll do, I'll give some homework questions on the Google Drive. Huh? On the Google Drive, I have made 4 folders: audio recording, charts, your lectures, and homework problems. Right? So I'll upload over there. So tomorrow we'll first thing tomorrow we'll finish off the remaining concepts. Okay, only small concepts are remaining. That will finish off tomorrow, and we'll start with customs. We'll start with customs tomorrow itself. Oh, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. All right. So no lecture tomorrow, guys. No lecture tomorrow. Okay. And we have finished almost 60% of your syllabus. We have finished. Huh? 60% of your syllabus is done. Okay. Because customs, there are not many questions on custom. Only valuation questions will be there on custom. Custom does not have such a big list. Customs questions are important, but only specific topics are there. Customs questions are equally important, huh? But only specific topics are there. So not so many topics are required in customs. All right. Okay, done. So we'll meet directly on Monday. If there is any doubt, you can always ask me, no problem. Let's end today's meeting then. Okay, chalo.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.